Today, I'm going to show you what's actually changed in the A-frame camper industry in the last few years, what real owners are saying after living with these campers, what each manufacturer is currently offering, what they still haven't gotten right, who they're actually for, and what to watch out for when buying an older unit. My 6 videos on A-frame campers have reached over 350,000 views, more than 5,000 likes, and thousands of comments across YouTube and social media. Surprisingly, one manufacturer reached out to me after I made videos about these campers. I'll show you what actually came out of that. I owned a 2018 Forest River Rockwood A-frame camper, traveling with it over 20,000 kilometers, or nearly 13,000 miles, and sometimes through some pretty rough terrain. So, should you buy a new or used A-frame camper? What makes these campers one of the most versatile and well-liked RV designs, yet also one of the most frustrating for many owners and buyers? I'll answer all these questions and more throughout this video. Next, let's look at the original promise of the A-frame camper and why they're so appealing. The A-frame camper is a smart idea. It folds flat for towing and opens into a solid cabin in about a minute. They're lightweight and easy to tow with the average car or small truck. Unlike tent trailers, they have hard walls, which gives people more peace of mind in critter country, and they generally feel more secure. Most models come equipped with the basics: a stove, a fridge, a sink, and sleeping space for 2 to 4 people. When folded down, they're compact and easy to store, which is a big advantage for people with limited driveway or garage space. They've also become popular because they're relatively affordable and the design is genuinely unique. Many models include heaters. Some have air conditioning, bathrooms with or without a shower, and you might even find roof racks for bikes or kayaks. Some have exterior gas connections, outdoor showers, and additional exterior storage. That combination of simplicity, comfort, and portability is what makes the A-frame camper so appealing. For a lot of people, it works exactly as advertised, but only if you enjoy a specific type of camping style. These tend to work best for solo travelers, couples, or families with small children. People who don't need much space and who don't expect to spend long periods inside. For that kind of use, they make a lot of sense. They're simple, efficient, and easy to live with. But once you move beyond that, the experience starts to change. I spent 10 weeks on one long trip up to the Arctic in an A-frame. And living out of a space that small for that long gives you a very different perspective on how these campers actually work. And that's where things start to get interesting. A-frame owners have left hundreds of both positive and negative comments about A-frame campers across all of my videos. What stands out is how often the same themes repeat. The positive comments are what you would expect. They're easy to tow, quick to set up, compact, and a solid overall concept. The hard sides add a sense of security, and the size makes them easy to store. For what they're designed to do, they work very well. The negative comments are more frequent, and the same issues come up over and over again, falling into 3 main areas. First, design compromises. These are small campers. Space is limited. Storage is not always practical, and some layouts force awkward trade-offs. Second, build quality. This is where most of the recurring issues show up. It's not just one issue. It's the same types of problems showing up across different owners over time. And third, real-world use. Things you only notice once you're actually out camping. These are the kinds of issues that show up after you've lived with one for a while. And once enough people start pointing out the same problems, manufacturers eventually take notice. After some of my earlier videos, the product manager for the Rockwood A-frame line reached out after seeing the issues being discussed. They acknowledged the concerns and said they were looking into them. But I didn't just leave it there. I sent them a detailed list of what I was seeing and what needed to change. I never did hear back from them again. So let's look at what manufacturers are actually building today. Aliner, Forest River, who manufacture both the Rockwood and Flagstaff A-frame campers, and Chalet. There's also a new brand on the market with a very different approach, and we'll look at that later on in this video. Aliner has been building A-frame campers longer than anyone else still in this market. They have spent years refining the same basic idea. That slow, steady evolution shows up across the whole lineup. The current lineup breaks down into a few clear groups. At the smaller end of the scale is the Scout series. These are the closest to the original A-frame concept and just a step up from tent camping. The base model has a front dinette that converts into a small bed, a small permanent bed on the other side, a small fridge, and not much else. The Ranger series is for campers who value a few more features and slightly more space. This series comes with sleeping, dining, and seating areas, a stove, small fridge, a sink, a water heater, a furnace, and water storage. The Classic series builds on the Ranger foundation with more comfort and versatility. These are built for people who want more room to move, flexible seating, larger beds, and more interior storage. The kitchen area is larger and has an upgraded sink and stove. The Expedition model is built for families and couples who want more room to spread out. It has a larger interior, more storage, taller countertops, large beds, and a cassette toilet area. The Evolution series is built for rugged terrain and comfort. They are clearly aimed at people who want to take these campers further off pavement while still keeping the A-frame design. These focus more on durability and off-grid capability, with aluminum frames, composite interiors, tankless water heaters, and standard solar setups. Aliner has also introduced the AMP, a model built for off-grid use. It combines solar power, lithium batteries, and propane to let you stay out longer without relying on hookups. The interior is efficient and well laid out, with a stronger focus on energy independence than most of the lineup. Aliner has now entered the micro truck camper space with a compact pop-up A-frame design. The switchback truck camper is built to fit most standard and mid-size pickup beds while keeping a low profile that can still fit in a garage. It includes a full-size sleeping area, tinted safety glass windows, and sound dampening insulation. Setup takes under 30 seconds with secure tie-downs and lockable doors. The total weight comes in at just 375 pounds. Whether you buy their smallest model or their largest, the build quality and the way they put the components together stays the same. And overall, the campers tend to feel solid in the materials and hardware used. That said, Aliner has not solved everything. Some models still use the familiar bubble windows, and those have been known to leak over time. Wiring underneath the camper is exposed in some areas near the wheels and is not well protected from debris or animals. No A-frame is perfect, but Aliner shows the value of steady refinement. They've stayed with the same core design long enough to improve it more than most, even if some issues still remain. They're a solid option if you're considering an A-frame camper. Forest River manufactures A-frame campers under two different brand names, Rockwood and Flagstaff. And in practical terms, they are almost identical. Same floor plans, same structure, same components. The differences are mostly in branding, colors, and small trim details. At the smaller end of the lineup, you're getting simple, lower-cost models with just the basics. You get a front dinette, a rear bed, a small fridge, water pump, a sink, and a furnace. Some models also have a small stove and flexible seating. As you move into the mid-range, you start to see more storage, more features, and slightly more usable space. You get additional length and more features including additional headroom, flexible dining arrangements, increased kitchen counter space, and an indoor shower and toilet combo depending on the model. And at the top end are where things change the most. You get higher counters that are closer to standard residential or travel trailer heights, more interior room, and layouts that start to feel closer to a small travel trailer. There are dormers for more headroom, larger flexible sleeping areas, some even turning into either two twin beds or one large king bed. Some include wet baths, bunk beds, and integrated solar panels. But once you get past the updated finishes and the improved feature list, a lot of the original design frustrations are still there. Some layouts still place a tiny sink right beside the bed. The large heat exchanger also takes up a significant amount of interior space, which is a trade-off in a camper where storage is already limited. The bubble windows on the non-dormer models are still a concern because those have a history of leaking over time. The roof lift assist mounting also still raises questions. It is still mounted with screws into the wall structure rather than being fully sandwiched into the wall with bolts. The same two-part door system has been used for at least the past 8 years, and it's had ongoing issues with water and dust intrusion. There appears to be no updates to the underside of the A-frame, with all wiring still exposed for potential damage by debris and rodents who love to chew on these. Despite the ongoing concerns with the Forest River A-frame campers, they have made many modern cosmetic and practical changes to their newest lineup. If you are considering any of their models, you are wise to compare them to the Aliner and Chalet brands to make sure that what you're buying is the best choice for you. Chalet has been building A-frame campers for decades, with the current company producing them since the mid-1990s. Chalet may have a smaller footprint in the A-frame industry, but they are best known for their construction details, unique layouts, and roof lift system. Older models often look next to new because of better material choices that resist wear and tear. They have a classic, slightly cozy cabin feel that has changed little over the years. Chalet utilizes a business model that is different from Aliner and Forest River in that they do not use an established RV dealer network. Instead, you buy directly from the manufacturer using a network of brand ambassadors who are current Chalet A-frame owners. After booking an appointment with the closest ambassador through the Chalet website, the ambassador gives you a tour of their camper before placing an order. The current Chalet lineup breaks down into 3 distinct series. The LTW is the smallest, lightest, and most affordable. Its lightweight permits easy towing by most vehicles, and its small size allows for easy maneuverability. This unique trailer sleeps 2 in the converted dinette, while including standard features such as LED lighting, fridge, furnace, 2-burner cooktop, fan, and a cold water sink. Their Classic series sits in the mid-range and are by far the most popular models. They feature a longer wheelbase with more floor space. The kitchen area has a double sink and 3-burner cooktop stove. Some have a rear bench seat that folds flat into a bed, and a front dinette that converts into a bed for 1 adult or 2 small children. The XL series have the longest wheelbase and floor space. They feature higher walls with residential height countertops, more counter space, and an optional rear kitchen area with a large double sink. An optional dormer is also available. All of the negatives of owning a Chalet A-frame camper generally apply to all A-frame campers, and I talk about those in more detail in the final thoughts section at the end of this video. They should be a serious contender if you are buying an A-frame camper, but they are considerably harder to find given their smaller footprint in the industry. For years, the A-frame camper has changed slowly. Then this shows up, the AntiShanty AS1. At first glance, this looks like a typical A-frame camper. Same triangular profile, same hard-sided design. But the similarity mostly ends there. Traditional A-frames are built around one idea: collapse flat, open to a small living space. The AntiShanty starts from a different place. At its core, it's not really a camper. It's a cargo box first, a fully enclosed aluminum gear hauler that also becomes a place to sleep. When you get to camp, the roof lifts into that A-frame shape, giving you standing room and an upper sleeping area. The lower area can also be used for a bed as well, or it could be for the storage area for your outdoor toys. And that difference shows up immediately inside. There's very little built in, fewer fixed systems, more open space. This is not trying to be a feature-packed RV, and it clearly targets a different kind of owner. Someone who values modularity, who wants to customize their setup, who prefers minimalism over built-in features. And for most people, that trade-off may be too much. But for a small group of buyers, this may be exactly what they were looking for. So, should you buy a new A-frame camper or look for a used one? Let's break each one of them down to help you decide which is best for you. Buying new definitely has its advantages. If you can afford new, pride of ownership tends to be stronger. Newer models reflect years of owner feedback, so problematic issues with older units may have been dealt with. They often use better materials or modern hardware. The layouts are updated and they have a fresh modern look. If you are not comfortable dealing with repairs in the first few years, buying new is probably the better option. Used A-frame campers can often be purchased for significantly less money. Many older units can be had for less than half the price of new. They depreciate fairly quickly, so a well cared for unit can be a very good value. They also make sense if you are comfortable fixing small issues yourself. Typical costs for older units include roof sealing and inspections, tires and brakes, appliances and other systems, plumbing and electrical fixes, and general wear and tear. If you plan on buying an older model, just know that it will have some of these issues. And depending on the condition, the repairs can quickly outweigh the savings. Look for obvious structural damage or rust. Check for any signs of water leaks around windows, doors, roof seams, and exterior moldings. Test every appliance and plumbing feature thoroughly. Do not assume anything works until you see it working. Take note of where the two sidewalls rest on top of each other when in the folded position. There must be some kind of protection between them. Most of these campers live fairly hard lives. So if you're considering a used one, take your time and look very carefully. Have a second set of eyes inspecting these is always a good practice. Bringing someone along with you that doesn't have a vested interest in this unit may save you a lot of money and frustration. And that brings us to some final thoughts. Over the past several years, the A-frame camper industry has improved. Materials are better, layouts are more refined, and manufacturers are starting to respond to real-world use. But the core design hasn't changed. These are still small campers with very specific strengths and very real limitations. If you go in expecting that, they could be a great fit. If you don't, those limitations show up quickly. So before you buy one, you need to ask yourself 3 things. Are you okay with everything being below waist level, with little to no overhead storage? Can you handle the setup process every time you use it? And is the floor space actually enough for how you plan to camp? If the answer to those is yes, then an A-frame camper can work very well for you. If not, you're probably better off looking at something else. I hope this video has helped you make that decision. And if you have any questions or your own experiences, please leave a comment. I do read all of them and I will get back to you. And thanks for watching.
You should like this video and subscribe, because if you don't, I'm not gonna make any more videos. I'm losing it, I really am. I'm starting to get giddy because I'm this close to finishing this one.